Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Our next guest knows how it feels to have a great story to tell. Welcome a local author, Carol Pratt Bradley, to the table.
Welcome, Carol. Now, I have to just say, okay, so I'm sitting at church and someone's saying, hey, we got a book club and we're going to read, someone's book. Yes. And then everyone turns and it's you. Well, the funny thing is everyone's talking about your book and I'm like sitting there going, yeah, whatever. And I go home and my mother-in-law, not that, I think that's really sweet.
She means that in the kindest way.
In the kindest way. I was thinking something else. No, seriously. And I go home and my mother-in-law is the one who looks up your book and she's like, do you know that girl, that lady? This is her book. Look what it's about. And she started, she goes, oh, that'd be quite interesting. Let me order. And so that's when I thought, oh, that'd be really interesting to have you on.
That's fun. I wasn't listening.
When they were...
So I heard my name, turned around, and everybody's staring at me.
Oh, no. So nobody was listening in church that day. That's fantastic. Right. Well, that's a way to sell books, maybe.
Did you want to always be a writer?
I did.
Okay. So you always had a story?
When I was 11, I was always like climbing trees or, I always had a notebook with me.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote silly poems.
Okay.
But I just always wanted to write. I loved empty pieces of paper. Wow. I would collect them. But so I pretty much knew I wanted to write, but my path came later.
Okay.
Like I'd always been told that I wrote really well.
Okay.
But I didn't. I went to college, took a few writing classes, and that was discouraging.
Was it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and
In what way? Was it discouraging?
Just trying. I don't know.
Because it's so structured, maybe. Or?
Well, and I got a B- in my creative writing class. Anyway,
that is discouraging.
But then I married and I had children, and I thought I don't really want to do fiction writing. It didn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. I thought, what's the use of it, that. And I got into academic writing, and I did research, in ancient times and stuff like that. And then my daughter, I went back to school after 20 years because I hadn't got my bachelor's.
Right. Good for you.
And so I finally spent, that in 2 years finishing my bachelor's, and I thought, well, I want to get a master's.
Wow.
And so I applied for history because I love history. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get in, and I thought, what do I really, really want to do? So when I thought about it, I thought, I really want to write. And I discovered that there's a lot of power in stories. Mm-hmm. And they teach us, and anyway, people love stories. So I decided, and I applied for the Master of Fine Arts at BYU, and Miracle got in. and it was a wonderful experience. Like, it changed my writing. I discovered what I wanted to write about.
Oh, so what genre have you chosen to write about?
I write historical novels because I combine history and writing, which I love both. And I like writing about real people.
Yes.
So who really lived.
Well, that sounds like my favorite genre. Are you for young adult, children, adults?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
I've even some of the books that I wrote so far, men have said they like them too. So
how many books have you written?
Just the three
These
are
three.
published.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And I started them a long time ago.
Oh,
that is incredible.
And it looks like they're part of a series. Light of the Candle, Fire. I mean, just with the light and the light. Is that part of
the Light of the Candle was the first one that I ever wrote before I got in the master's program.
Okay.
And the Waiting for the Light is its sequel. That was the third one that was published just a few months ago.
Fantastic.
And Fire of the Word is actually my master's thesis.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
So,
wow.
And I finally got it published. That is it's set in Protestant England during Henry VIII's time. Mm-hmm. And I had become interested in the Protestant Reformation and the sacrifices that people went through to have scripture, and I'd never explored that ever.
Wow.
That people lost their lives over that. And so I just immersed myself in that. But I found a story, somehow, I don't remember, of a lady who really lived in Henry VIII's time. And I just wanted to explore her story. She was a young noblewoman who sacrificed a lot to have the the Bible in her life when it was against the law. So anyway, but I love seeing how much we have in common with people in past times. Human nature is the same, and I think it gives us a perspective on the present and on our own lives that has enriched my life to explore the lives of somebody else.
Wow.
And plus, I just have a wild imagination.
Well, it sounds like not only do you write, but you have to do a lot of research.
Right.
Yes.
A lot of reading.
That's the fun part.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
like
it
that?
would be a lot of
Collecting books.
research. Yeah.
But I've discovered you can't put the research first. I need to do enough research that I feel like I understand the time period and the people and all that.
Before you write.
But the story has to come first, and the characters have to come first. So then
before the research.
after.
Oh, after.
Well, I know
okay.
the story.
Just don't do too much research.
Yeah.
It destroys the story.
Well, and as you're writing the story, you discover, oh, what would that be like? What did the houses look like? Like, what did the thing they ironed with? You know, just little tiny details like that. And then even I'll stop and okay, what does a flower smell? What does it smell like? You know, so, but I discovered that at first when I wrote, too much research.
Really?
And so the story has to come first.
Okay.
Wow.
So-
So what if, for example, I believe there's a book in everyone, just like there is a song in everyone's soul. Oh, that was a good one. No, but so how do you start? I mean, yeah, I've got a book in my soul. Well, no, that was a song.
Oh, so
Whatever, there's a book
you've
in
got a
everyone.
soul.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so how do you
I
start?
think you have to really, really want to write. You have to have the discipline to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they want to write, but we don't, you know. So
It just sounds good, doesn't it? I'm an author. It sounds great. Really.
Well, I mean, it has to be very, very thrilling, though, to finally see your work come together when it's bound and on a shelf, and then other people taking that in and then relaying back to you that they were able to read your story and enjoy the story and maybe envision what you envisioned when you were writing it.
But I've also discovered once that book leaves my hands, that was, you know, a creation of mine. But when the reader takes it, they bring their own thing into it and have their own experience. And so, and a lot of times I might not hear. So
It must, you know, and I guess that's probably much like a movie too, because that's the adventure of reading a book, because it is your imagination bringing everything to life, and people maybe don't love that so much when it's turned into a movie sometimes, because they're like, oh, well, it's not how I imagined it, so maybe that's not how people are, sharing your story back to you sometimes. But it really is a talent. I think it's so amazing. So congratulations to you for getting that published. I certainly do not have it in me. Well, I may have a story in me. I don't have the discipline in me. So that's amazing, especially to go back to school too and learn the discipline and then to get it published. That's so commendable.
it's fun. I like looking at them and realize, oh my gosh, I created something.
Are you working on anything right now, Carol?
I am. So when I was writing the Anne Askew book,
The last one?
yeah,
Okay.
The Fire of the Word.
Fire of the Word.
Anyway, I discovered that a lady that, her name is Anne Hutchinson, anyway, in early Boston, and she was a religious,
I've heard of
yes,
his name.
she was kicked out of, anyway, I discovered she's my 9th great-grandmother, and I never knew that.
No way.
And I come through her daughter, who was taken by the Indians and then came back and had 11 children. So I'm writing it from her daughter Susanna's point of view.
Oh my gosh!
But it's a rich, rich time period.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, so we will have to keep.
Yes, we're going to stay in
Very
touch with you, and I think we'll be reading one of these for maybe our book club.
Oh yes. Just don't tell me if you don't like it.
Well, thanks again.
Thanks, Carol.
That was fantastic.
Coming up next, keeping positive. Stay with us.